The Menard Eagles have a home playoff game this Friday against Thomas Jefferson out of Gretna, Louisiana. And to preview that, we're going to bring on head coach of the Menard Eagles, David Perkins. And Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. And I know that on the coaches show on 446 this season, the Eagles fans and supporters have gotten to stay in touch with the team. But bring us up to speed for those around the state. Bring us up to speed on your team this season and what's brought y'all to that 6-4 record and getting to host a playoff game.
Okay, yeah, we've had a good season. Like you said, we're 6-4. We started the season out 5-1. We hit a little road bump here a couple weeks ago. We were on a 3-game losing streak. Playing three really good teams. We lost to Vols, who's in our district. They're in the playoffs. They have a home playoff game, and we lost to Kinder. One of the top 5 teams in the state, with a chance to go probably to the Dome, and in a really good Church Point team. So we played 3 really good teams, and then we finished it out last week against Port Barry, which we were on the road and we got the win right there, and we were able to get into the playoffs, and able to secure us a home playoff game, which is one of the goals that we had this year. Was we would like to win the district championship, but that didn't happen. But we got more goals. We wanted to get into the playoffs and then play at home, and we'll be able to play at home and give these seniors another chance to play in front of our crowd here at the Eagles Nest. And, here in Alexandria, that'll be the only high school game on Friday night. So we'd like everybody to come out and watch that, and maybe we can get them some good football and some good entertainment.
You mentioned some of those seniors. And I know you've had a lot of key players that play both ways, both offense and defense, and you've had some underclassmen step up and kind of backfill some of that talent to get y'all those 6 wins. Talk about some of your leaders for your team that have gotten y'all this far, because I know you've been able to run and pass the ball a little bit this year.
Yeah, we in the past, we've preached it and wanted to run the ball a whole lot, kind of grind the clock, play good defense. Defense is like one of the staples of our team. So this year we opened it up a little bit. We have some good offensive players. Jake Vaughn, number 3, is our quarterback. But he got some good weapons out there. Number 17, Matthew Hicks, and these are all seniors. 10, Cutter Knowles, number 1, Zach. Those are his 3 primary weapons. With Aiden Moran, another senior running back. All guys have had really good years. A senior-laden offensive line. 4 of those guys are also seniors, kind of led by Cade Tostan, and but we've had some injuries along the way. Just like everybody else. Lane Evans, another senior, he was our center. He's been hurt for about 3 or 4 weeks. He is out for the season. We lost our quarterback, Jake Vaughn, who's had a great year. He's a dual threat guy. He can throw it, he can run it, but he got hurt in week 8 at Church Point. Week 9 actually at Church Point late in that game. So he sat out the week 10 game, and we were able to actually start a sophomore, and he did a really good job for us, and he was actually our defensive end for the whole year. Peyton Procell, number 12. He's a pitcher on our baseball team, but he's our backup quarterback. So he went into quarterback. He had a great game. He actually passed for more yards than we've thrown for any other game this year. He had over 200 yards passing. So we're excited about that, and obviously he'll start this playoff game, and we've been getting all the reps here in practice, and we had a long practice today, and just looking for good things. It's great to be in the playoffs, like I said, and hopefully, in week 11, we'll be able to entertain this crowd, and also we got some underclassmen that are playing. Sam Bricata, we call him T Sam. He's our Mike linebacker. Jacob Janice, one of the seniors that is on defense. He's an outside linebacker. He's an all-state type of linebacker. Those are the 2 leaders. And, we've got a young defensive line, but, man, they've already played 11 games, so it's not that they're inexperienced anymore. They really get after it. They give offensive lines heck. And, so Thomas Jefferson's coming in here. It's a 3A team. So we're kind of stepping up in class, but we've done that all year, and we've done pretty well with it. So we're looking for great things for the Eagles at the Eagles Nest.
Looking at Thomas Jefferson a little bit, and not sure how much you've been able to scout them in detail, but any matchups that you feel this year will be that you had in the regular season that will be good tune-ups or good lessons to learn for this home playoff game?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we talked about this with the team. I told him I think this season has prepared us for the playoffs, but it's really prepared us for this team. When you play 2A ball and you play in some 3A teams and some 1A teams, you see kind of little quirky little offenses here and there that you don't really see with the 5As and the 4As who kind of spread it out all the time. And you see these kind of offenses, a little bit of the spin, what we would call it, or a little bit of just a T formation, and that's what they'll do, or slots, they'll have slots and double slots, along with tight ends, those type things. And that's the type of things Thomas Jefferson likes to do. They're an 80% run team, 80-20. We feel like that we're a good defensive team, obviously, but I think, we play against the run very, very well. And we've played against some teams that kind of run the same things that they do. And recently, Church Point, they kind of run the kind of same things. And so we've been prepared with some of the other teams that we've played with some of the style they play. So, we'll be ready for Thomas Jefferson, but, just need a couple more days to prepare for them. Like you said, never seen them, haven't never played them, so we're still studying those films. And we'll make some changes along the way that we've already put in. And we'll make some changes along the way in the game.
Tell us about that home atmosphere on Friday night. The Eagles Nest. We actually saw an article in the Rapides Parish Journal this week talking about the history of the stadium and everything. So, what do you expect this Friday at home to get these fans get to see another home playoff game?
Well, we had senior night, but it's been almost 3 weeks because we've been on the road the last couple of weeks. So, back when we lost that particular game, the seniors, obviously they were down, some of them crying and didn't know if we'd have another home game. But, we preached, I think if we could get one of these last two, we can get it home. So it's very important for us to be at home. Plus, it was one of our goals. We play very well at home, and we know there will be a lot of people there. Obviously, when we get into the playoffs, people come that maybe haven't come to the other games. And usually that's some of our alumni. Some of them come from out of town, very interesting. Because when you get to the playoffs, you got really good teams, but the atmosphere is just a little bit different, and we tell this to our players. The atmosphere is a little bit different. Everything's going to be ramped up a level, and you got to be able to meet that challenge. So we love that we're playing at home. We've had 5 successful games at home, and we've packed that stadium, all 5 of our home games this year. So we're looking forward to doing it again this week. We have some great fans, and we've got a great community, and we're looking forward for all those people to come out and support the Eagles.
Yeah, that's great to hear that you've had great crowds at home, and we know how this Menard fan base supports all their teams, not just their football teams, but we know that they love it when the Eagles Nest is rocking. So, Coach, we appreciate your time so much previewing this game with us, and like I said, hopefully we can talk to you some more in round 2, getting ready for a regional game.
Absolutely, and great for having us and getting our name out there. Thank you very much.